So hello everyone, welcome back with another video of Salesforce Geek channel, and in this video we are going to discuss a very interesting use case. So I came to know about this use case from one of the subscriber. They reached out to me like, Shubham, how we can complete this particular scenario. So what is the scenario? On the opportunity record page, we need to build a Salesforce screen flow where you will basically fetch the data from the opportunity, right? And based on a particular field, we need to create that many project record. So for example, you can see I am on opportunity object. So here I created a custom field called project limit, and you can see this is the value over there 3. So this means and here we are going to create a screen flow that will be available onto the opportunity record detail page. So based on that, what we need to do, we need to create project record. So right now you can see this is a related list for projects. So let's say here we have 3, so we need to create 3 opportunity project records. So now here is one interesting scenario or interesting thing. You probably know that in Salesforce flows, in loops actually, we don't have any number feed like, okay, how many times we need to run our loop. Our loop is basically we provide over a record collection variable. So in order to resolve this issue, we are going to see how we actually overcome this hurdle, or how we can implement these kind of scenario where we need to run a loop n times, correct? So without any delay, let's build a screen flow for that, and let's move to setup. So if you are a beginner and want to learn Salesforce flows, then I created a course for absolute beginners who want to learn Salesforce flow from scratch. This course contains more than 80 plus tutorials and 40 plus hours of content. So if you are interested to learn flows, make sure you check out the course. Link is given below into the description of this video. And for this, here I am going to type flow, or I can create from this button as well. So I am going to click on flow over there. Now, as per the scenario, we need to build a screen flow. So I will select a screen flow and click create. I don't know why this error actually came into my org. So it's a pre-release org. So sometime I got this error. But anyway, just click on this, got it. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this plus button, click on screen, and onto the screen, first of all, I'm going to use our display text. Let's say flow to, or instead of this, let's say display message. Hit run to create projects to this opportunity. I will make it in center, and after this I am going to add our text field to display the opportunity name, and let's say to display the number of location, or let's say number of projects, correct? And let's say if we need to add some other field of project, so I will move into object manager, go to project, and let's click on project, field and relationship. So there is a start date as well, right? So what I am going to do, let's say start date, or let's say date, correct? Now in this particular text, what I am going to type, let's say opportunity name, and what I'm going to provide, I'm going to provide a default value. I will let you know how. Similarly for this, I'm going to type, let's say project limit, and again I will provide the default value here. In the date, I need to provide a date. Let's say start date, and I will make this start date as a required field, because these two I am simply going to fetch from the opportunity. So I will click done. Okay, I need to provide screen label. So let's say project details. Now I'm going to click on done. Now let's say I am going to create a new resource because we are going to place this screen flow over a opportunity record page. So in order to get the data of ID and all, I need to create a record variable, or you can also use a record ID variable, but again then you need to use a get record element in your flow. But as I am only going to use this onto the record page, not onto the quick action, so I am good to use a record global variable here. Sorry, not a record variable here. So here I'm going to click on variable, and let's say opportunity, data type would be record, object opportunity, and here I am going to select available for input because we are going to get the data from the opportunity record. I am going to click on done, and I will open the screen again. Into the opportunity name, default value, what I will do, opportunity dot name, and in the project limit I am going to type opportunity dot project limit, and after this our work is done. Now what I need to do, I simply need to click on done, and after this I need to configure something. So first of all, what I am going to do, I am going to use a decision element. Let's say check for project limit, and project limit greater than 0. So in this I am going to select opportunity variable that we created, dot project limit should be greater than 0, correct, and click done. So if it is greater than 0, then only we are going to proceed further in our flow, right? So here is an interesting thing which I want to let you know. This is where the concept actually started. As you know, for example, let's say in this particular case we have 3 as a project limit, so we need to create 3 project record. Now you will say, Shubham, we need to use loop because we are going to create a thing again and again, but as you know that we don't have any thing in order to provide 3 into our loop. So for example, if I select loop over there, so see, in the select collection variable we don't have anything actually, so we need to use a different approach in order to create 3 records. So what is the different approach is, first of all I am going to use the assignment, and in this assignment what I am going to do, let's say project instance, and in this I am going to create a new resource. This is going to be a record single variable for project object. So let's say API name would be project, data type let's say record, object would be project, and I am going to click on done. Number field, so let's say here I am going to type project dot start date equals, here I am going to create a new resource, and this is going to be a formula, sorry, and in the value I am going to select from the screen component, that is start date. Then we have let's say if we have another field, so let me check again. So we have end date as well, so let's select project dot end date. So as you know that we only provided start date into the screen element, for that what I am going to do an automation. Let's say new resource, formula, and here I am going to type let's say end date, data type would be date, and let's say here I am going to select start date plus let's say after 21 days is the end date for every project. I'm going to check syntax, it is valid, and I'm going to click on done. So these are the two fields that we need to provide, but actually there is one more field we need to provide is opportunity ID. So let's say project dot opportunity equals opportunity global opportunity variable that we created dot ID. So these are the three fields that we need to provide into the project instance. I am going to click on done. Also, as you know that we are going to create 3 records. So we also need to store this particular project instance into a project collection variable in order to create outside the loop. Here I need to create a new resource variable. Let's say projects is the name, data type is record. Here you need to select allow multiple values because it is a collection and it will collect all the project instances. And in the object, select project. Let's click on done. And under this you need to select operator add. And in the value I am going to provide project. That is a record single variable, and I will simply remove the dot. But make sure this add condition should be the last condition, otherwise your flow will behave like weirdly. So because it's a new thing, right? Now earlier we need to use 2 assignment element in order to provide, or let's say provide the value into the project instance, and to store that project into a collection variable we used 2 assignment element earlier. But now we can do the same thing, but sometimes people like change the order of these conditions. So make sure the projects add project should be the last one, and click done. Now after this, what I will do, I need to do one more thing. So here I am going to use an assignment, and this time let's say decrement project limit. So in this I am going to create a new variable, and let's say project limit count. Data type would be number, so decimal places would be 0, right? And now what I am going to do, I am going to click on done. Here I am going to select subtract and 1. Now you will say, Shubham, you are subtracting value 1 over there, but how you will actually provide the project limit count, the project limit? So I will let you know for that. Let me just click on done. Now basically we decremented the value, but you will say we never provided any value to our project limit count, right? So what I will do here, I will use another assignment to basically provide the value project limit count. So here I am going to type, let's say, assign value to project limit count, and here I am going to select the same object variable again, that is project limit count equals opportunity dot limit. So now you can see the value that we have into the opportunity project limit should be into the project limit count. Click done. Now into the decision as well, we need to change this opportunity project limit to project limit count greater than 0. Here I am going to click on done. And after this, what I am going to do, I am going to connect this particular path to this decision again. So now this will not clear into the auto layout. What I will do, I will save my flow, and let's say type create and projects, and I'm going to click on save. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit activate. Sorry, I deactivated the flow by mistake. I just activated this is not complete. So now what I'm going to do, instead of auto layout, I'm going to click on freeform. Now you will understand what we actually did. So if I change it to like this and this, yeah, now it's better. Let me minimize it. So what we did, actually from the screen, we get the information about everything. We get the start date, we get the project limit, we get the opportunity name, right? Then in the assignment element, you will see project limit count equals opportunity project limit. We basically created a number variable and get the value that we have into the opportunity project limit to that particular variable. Then into the decision element, we basically check whether the project limit count greater than 0 or not. Then we basically create a project instance, and once the project instance is created and added into the projects, that is a collection variable, then we basically decrease the count of the project limit count. So let's say here the project value is 3, then it will come here, it will basically generate a project instance, and then in the second assignment that we have, we basically reduce the value of that project limit count to 1. So now here we have the value 2. So it will again come back to the decision, it will check whether the project limit greater than 0. So yes, it is. So again it will move to this assignment and again create an instance, correct? Then it will move further and it will reduce the count to 1. Now again it will move to the decision and it will still true, because 1 greater than 0 condition is satisfying. Then it will again move to the project assignment and again move to the decrement project limit. So again this time it will become 0. So now let's say if it moves to 0 greater than 0, then it is false. Then it will move to the default outcome. I hope you are getting it. So on to the default outcome, what we are going to do, we are going to use a create record element. So I will simply use a create record element and let's say create projects. And this time let's say I am going to use a separate resource. Sorry, I am going to select multiple, and in the record collection I need to just provide projects. Let's hit done, and now I will simply connect my decision to create record for the default outcome. I hope you are getting it. Now what I need to do, I simply save as, hit save. And now let's say, just for the representation purpose, auto layout is not that much better. So I just moved to freeform just to let you know how it actually working. So I will move to auto layout. So that's how it actually looks like. So if you want to change the default outcome label, let's say create projects. Let's click on done. Hit save. Right, but still there is one thing missing. I will let you know what. So let's try to activate our flow and move to the opportunity record detail page, and I have hit edit page so that we can place our screen flow onto the opportunity record detail page. So now I will simply drag and drop flow onto the canvas, but just waiting for the canvas to get slowed. So I will simply drag and drop to here. Now onto this particular flow component, I need to simply select my flow, that is create and projects. And here is one important thing that you guys need to remember, that this particular opportunity variable. It says pass all field value from the record into this flow variable. So make sure you select this particular checkbox, otherwise your flow will not work accordingly. So now you need to just click on save. And let's say hit activate. Now let's say I can assign it to org default and save it again. Now I will move back. So now you can see the project is basically appear over there. So now once you see this particular screen flow, right, you will see opportunity name automatically appear, project limit automatically appear, right? And we just need to provide the start date. So let's say I'm going to provide the start date to 27. So right now you can see we don't have any project in this particular related list, right? What I will do, I will simply click on next. So now you will see 3 project is actually created when we hit this next button. So that means our flow is working fine, and you get to know about like how this n record creation without using any loop actually works. Like you get the concept. Now there is one thing which I told you that there is a loophole in our flow, and what it is, let's say I will move to any opportunity where I don't have the project limit. So let's say I will move to this particular opportunity, and you will see I don't have any project limit in this. So for example, let's say I provide 24 here and hit next. You will see nothing gets created. Also, if I move to debug and select the same record that we just selected and hit run, and let's say here I provided a start date to 31 and hit next, you will see it is moving to the default outcome executed. But if you closely noticed into the default outcome executed, it actually create projects. So we want to restrict something here. What I can say, if we don't have the value in this particular project limit, we need to stop our flow to execute it further. So what I can do, I can simply make it require, so that first the user update the project limit and then we will move forward. So let's say I'm going to click on done and hit save as, and let's say activate. So now let's say if I move and refresh the page, and in this, let's say I provided start date and hit next. So this will not allow me to, because project limit is required. So for that, let's say if I move to project limit and update the project limit to, let's say 5 and hit save, seems like I need to refresh my flow. So if screen in order to get the project limit over there. So now you can see project limit is basically 5 and start date, let's say I'm going to select 31, and if I hit next, so you will see 5 project records are basically created. So it is not about the scenario, right? It's more about the concept that how you can implement this type of scenario whenever you need to create, let's say 5, 6 records. That's how you can do that. And one more thing, always use fault path in your Salesforce flow, right? Let's say this is the flow right now I have. So in the upcoming videos, I'm going to create a framework to basically handle the errors that we get from the Salesforce flows, right? So that from going forward, once that video actually appear on our channel, we are going to use that subflow in all our Salesforce flows. So you will also get to know about like, okay, how to handle errors with the fault path. So for now, that's it from this tutorial, and I hope you learned a new concept. And if you learned the new concept, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe this channel for more such awesome content.